Hey guys, thanks very much for having us this morning. Just first of all, Jo, our current gun laws, are they tough enough?
I think that probably questions are being raised because of what's just happened in Bondi, and can that happen here? Yes. Probably the question for me is, what do we do with prevention? So that was a terror attack that was built through hatefulness of a certain group, and that is definitely breeding here. We don't do any online safety regulation. We don't kind of do any management of those groups online in any active way. It's interesting to me to introduce a firearms regulator when we can't introduce an online safety regulator. Seems to be no political appetite to do that, which would do the prevention work of the hate crimes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what you're saying is that there are spaces online where people freely, discuss and plan such attacks, and they do so often with impunity because it is a secret chat that they're undertaking. And is this part of a growing issue in your mind?
It's definitely a growing issue, and the DIA, Department of Internal Affairs, have shared that issue, one they're really concerned about. But we consistently remove remove staff members from those teams. So I'm really concerned that we are doing nothing / pulling back on online safety regulation when that is the exact place that this kind of culture.
Okay, Rawdon, in New Zealand right now, you can own as many guns as you want. The limit is on pistols. You can only have 12 of those.
Oh, thank God for that.
I mean,
I can get at least another 12 then.
Yes. I mean, what do you think? Because I'm not a competitive shooter, and I know a lot of people who like to own guns will get upset with our discussion here this morning potentially, but I just do not understand why you would need 12 pistols, or why there wouldn't be a limit on the number of guns you could have.
Well, and certainly not if it was very, very closely monitored. I could probably I don't shoot. I have no interest. I'll sit here saying just get rid of them all unless they're in the country for security and defence purposes, where I probably do endorse them existing. But you're right. Our rural community relies on them to a point. There's the sports, hunting, whatever it is. So you're never ever going to be able to just say get rid of them all. So it does a control thing. Now we know, well, we don't know, but had the semi-automatics been available, I dread to think what Bondi would have looked like on Sunday night. So we've moved, very, very fast in the right direction.
Those semi-automatics in Australia, at least, I mean, they were repealed sort of 30 years ago after Port Arthur. I mean, so they far ahead.
Yeah, and if anything, post-Christchurch, I know there was a lot of commendation for the speed at which we removed them, but the fact they were still here just bemused me when they've been gone from UK, Australia and places like that for so long. But today, you can own 12 pistols. So if you're possibly an Olympic shooter, there might be a reason to have pistols. I just cannot understand why you would ever need more than... This guy had 6 rifles. What is the justification for that? And if there is justification, how closely is it being monitored? And the other part of that is how much ammo is he allowed to build up next to his 6 rifles? So to not removal, because that's never going to work. It's down to probably more awareness, more control, more certification. It's very difficult to own a gun in the UK. Even if it's a shotgun for pheasant shooting or whatever it is, which is
They're taking terrorism very seriously there, right? We would say they're really... and then actively wanting to change.
Yeah, but the other thing there is, of course, you can take all the guns out of the playground. It's not going to stop terrorism. They'll find another weapon. I mean,
Which is, for me, why the prevention piece is so important.
Yeah, it'll be the minibus driving through the people next time, or whatever it is. So the guns is only a part of the problem. As far as we're is just about taking a damn good look at where we're at as far as, are we really sure as much as we can be of who's got the guns, how many have they got, what are they being used for?
Yeah, no, that's a salient point. This mega ministry, MCERT they're calling it, is it necessary? Is it going to speed things up? Operation and less sort of siloed policy? Jo?
I think in and of itself it might be fine. I think the general public maybe doesn't have a great sense of how ministers work. So ministers come into roles, or they get portfolios without necessarily any strong experience in that space. So we take Minister Erica doesn't have an education background. So she comes in to an incredibly important portfolio, as many of them are, but is learning on the job. So what this mega ministry is asking our minister to do, who would be taking over 5 different portfolios that currently exist, is learn 5 different spaces potentially. Happen as a result in order not to slow down policy and change, because only one person will have to know all of that, is we need officials, so the people that stay in the ministries no matter what, no matter who gets voted in, we need them to have more power. I don't actually think David Seymour would like that.
Yeah. I mean, where do you sit on this, Rawdon? I mean, as a journalist, you often encounter the sort of overlaps and you sort of bemuse at the way in which certain government agencies respond in silos. Is there merit to bunging a whole lot of ministries together and calling it one thing? Complicate matters.
It'll complicate matters until it simplifies matters. But I think we all know how clumsy and how clunky our ministries can be, particularly from a journalist perspective. In this, as far as the ministers goes, I don't really have a concern because we've got ministers of everything anyway. So you may as well have, the Chris running. He may as well bring all his, 4 portfolios or whatever into one. My issue is, I don't mind the idea that they're discussing it. I don't mind the idea that they're exploring how to streamline. It's the proof is in the pudding, isn't it? The timing has been criticised today in a big way. I'm not sure about this today. Why is it suddenly happening now? You'll be able to tell me, has it been voiced? Has it been discussed?
This is the first I've heard of it when it was announced yesterday, and it seems to be dropped amid a whole lot of other big things that are going on.
Yeah, so I'll pick up on the conspiracy theory of that one. I'm not sure why we're learning about this today. Christmas.
Well, I think that tells us, though, right? That is why.
Well, I guess it's also pretty unsettling for those workers within those ministries, because one would assume if you were consolidating the those ministries that they are going to be also potentially consolidating jobs.
And they've already they already took a 6% over the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So that's already occurred, and now we're looking at this. But again, I think this is people potentially don't understand how much control ministers have, and if they don't know their portfolios very well, that's incredibly concerning. Yeah,
that's a good point. Do's and don'ts for kids this Christmas. Joe, I know what you're going to say, but...
What do you think I'm going to say?
Buy them the latest phone.
Don't give them a phone.
No phones, please. No technology, thank you. So let's put that one aside. So no tablets, no phones. That would be great. And part of the reason for that is because as a parent, retain as much ownership of devices as possible. So in that pre-14 age group, thinking about presents for them, it's your phone and they're using it. Or it's your tablet and they're using it. Not here's a tablet and here's a phone for you to use at your
So
at your
in my
leisure.
situation, I hate to say this, that I am my 12-year-old an old phone of mine.
Retain ownership of it.
Okay, so it's Dad's phone, but you can use it today?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not about them never being able to use it.
That's a great gift.
Yeah.
It's second-hand.
Don't give it as the gift.
I still own it. You can borrow it.
No, this is not your...
Yeah.
You need to go out, you need to buy a different one.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rawdon.
Go and buy a nice wooden truck, like the old...
Yeah.
There are lots of things that 12-year-olds want.
But they really want phones, though.
They do, but
they
my
really
12-year-old ain't getting a phone.
They really want Snapchat, I know. Rawdon, do's and don'ts for kids this Christmas?
Don't worry about it, because the cost of living crisis has killed probably 90% of people who otherwise might go and spend. What's a new phone? $2,000?
Yeah.
$1,500?
My kids can't even keep a drink bottle.
Yeah,
that's my concern.
So the beauty of it is that just the sheer cost of the things is probably actually solving the problem to a... I want to go back to the second-hand phone, which you're giving your son, which you're now daughter, which you're also now only allowed to lend her after Joe's spoken. Yeah, we've got to rethink the Mora.
Still technically under Michael Mora ownership.
Yeah.
So, okay, the do's and don'ts for us, same with our kids, when we were growing up, it was always about you never just race through and rip open all. It's all very controlled, the present giving, and it's a case there's a point in the day. Stockings, obviously, which don't come from mum and dad, are hugely important. Actually, that's probably was the biggest excitement on the day.
No phones and stockings.
But the actual
Santa
gift
wouldn't do
giving,
that.
yeah, there was a time of day when the kids would
Yeah.
actually be, we were always made to wait. And then it was fairly controlled. And then the other thing was that every time you got excited about opening a gift, you knew that name and that gift and the name of the giver was put on a list, and you were going to be writing a letter over the next. And those thank you letters of our lives, but hey, that's how we did it. And I think probably, so I guess, to cut a long story short, teach gratitude.
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
matter
great.
what you're giving them. Phones are great under the right circumstances, but I've got 3 older kids, so it's slightly easier. But it's all about gratitude.
A great
Yeah.
structure, I really like this. Lots of my friends need, love it how I was forgetting it for a second, need, want, wear, read.
Okay.
So 4 gifts if there's enough privilege in play, but need, want, wear, read. So the
Okay.
want is the really fun one, often the wear as well, but they're getting that are going to serve them for a long time.
Very good. That and gratitude. Very salient points this morning from our panel ahead of Christmas. Thank you very much for coming into the studio, guys, Joe and Rawdon. We will see you again very soon. Actually, no, we'll see you next year. This will be your last panel for the year. Hey,
Yes.
Merry Christmas, guys, and coming in week after week and sharing your thoughts with us. It's been fantastic to have you.
Good.
Joe Robertson, parenting expert, and Rawdon Christie, former broadcaster and real estate agent.